Hello and welcome to Tune In to Wellness Today. My name is LisaMarie Tersigni. I am the founder and owner of Inspiring Wellness Solutions, a health and wellness company that specializes in holistic health medicine. Tune In to Wellness Today is a program that brings to light a myriad of health and wellness services that are available to all of us in the capital region and surrounding areas. Today, our first guest is Mark Shepard. Mark is a singer and songwriter who many years ago, 20 years ago, was paralyzed by phobias and fears. And through that paralyzation, he thought that he was going to have to give up his love and passion for singing and songwriting. However, in his desperation, he decided to do some research. Correct, Mark?
Absolutely.
And in his research, he found there were ways that he could crush anxiety. And he became educated and is now a certified master practitioner of NLP,
Yep.
hypnotherapy,
Yep.
and timeline
Therapy.
therapy
Yep.
as well.
Mhm. Yep.
Mark, can you tell me what is anxiety?
Well, essentially, anxiety is thinking about what you do not want to have happen and making that thought very big, kind of on the mental movie screen of your mind. Worst case scenario, you're looking through your own eyes and horrible things are happening, and literally your body reacts as if it's real because your unconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. And anxiety actually has a tremendously positive effect because our ancestors who could imagine the future and what they didn't want to have happen, like winter was coming, let's not starve to death this year, let's have a place to stay warm, let's have warm clothing. They were able to anticipate the future and take action in the present to ensure that their future was what they wanted. But today, in our culture, there's so much stress, and our anxiety is mostly about stuff that really never happens, or things that, we're not being chased by lions or tigers or bears, really. So it's really in our head kind of a thing, but our body doesn't know. And so our body is reacting with all kinds of fight or flight chemicals, which eventually become toxic.
What were those, you did the research to learn how to crush those anxieties
Right.
that you had. What are some of the tools and techniques that you share with your clients, your patients, to help them overcome this anxiety?
Well, one of the tools, and I did a series of videos many years ago on YouTube and just gave away one of the key techniques. And just before I came to the studio, I got a call from an osteopath in Canada who basically said, Mark, I just want to thank you for those videos, because using that one crush anxiety technique, I literally, in between patients, I go and I watch your videos every day, and it's really helped me with my anxiety. And essentially, it is using your mind exactly the way you've been using it to create the problem, but using the same process to actually create the solution. So instead of going out into the future and imagining the worst case scenario and looking through your own eyes and seeing horrible things happen, you go out to the future, you get above the event, and you look back, seeing the event resolve perfectly. Same process.
That is amazing. Now, would you consider your processing techniques to be a cure then for anxiety?
Well, there is no cure, because you can always think about what you don't want to have happen.
Mm-hmm.
I call them tools. I call them tools that you need to practice every day. And every day I practice. And I was stuck in traffic, and I thought I was going to be late getting here to the studio. And I just went ahead 15 minutes after I arrived and realized that I was perfectly on time, and everybody else was late, or everybody else was finding parking, and it was all perfect. So I use it every day in every situation.
That's fabulous. Now, if I were suffering from anxiety and I were to contact you, what could I expect as part of the process? What would you do to help me overcome my anxiety?
Well, typically with my anxiety clients, I like to meet with them for a fairly intensive 4-hour kind of day-long session. We meet at 10 in the morning, we work for 2 hours, then we take a lunch break, then we work for another 2 hours. And that time gives me the ability to find out what's going on with them and to give them a lot of tools that they can use, because I don't fix them. I give them tools that then they can use to apply in their own life there's some tools that work great if you're in the middle of a panic attack and you need to get out of it, and there are some tools that you would use just every day, kind of on a preventive measure. Like every day I sit down and I write out at breakfast the one secret magic phrase that I have. Why does it work out better than I can possibly imagine? I write it out 3, 4, sometimes 10 times. And whenever I do that, I have a great day. So some things you do every day, some things are a practice, some things you would maybe use if you were in the middle of a really difficult situation to get yourself out of it.
I recall, and you tell me what you think about this, is years ago I had heard that if you're in the middle of an anxiety attack, maybe just snap your wrist with a rubber band, and that kind of brings you back to that present moment, because anxiety brings you elsewhere out of that present moment. Is that correct?
I think anything that works, that might work. For me, what I've noticed is in neurolinguistic programming, we have something called anchoring. And what I've noticed with anxiety clients is, let's say you snap the rubber band while you're in an anxiety attack. Well, the next time you snap that rubber band, it could literally bring the anxiety attack back, because it literally anchors that physiological state. So if it works to snap you out of it the first time, that might be great, but you might want to be careful of, that rubber band might then suddenly represent anxiety. And if you then put it on, I'm going to have an anxiety, you know what I mean?
That is interesting.
So a lot of what's going on in our mind can really affect whatever the solution might be.
So what can we tell the general public if if someone is out there suffering from some anxiety? What do you recommend that they do?
Well, first of all, I would say realize anxiety is not a disease. It is a way of thinking. It is thinking about what you do not want to have happen. And the simplest solution is change your thinking, focus on what you do want to have happen. I mean, if I only have a minute to tell you something, that's what I would tell you. And a lot of people say, that was enough. That saved me. Other people need more work. Sometimes there's trauma involved and in the past, and we have to clear that sometimes before the anxiety can be even addressed. But really, it is a process we're doing with our own minds. And so it's not a disease. You're not sick. You're just using your mind in a way that's getting you a result you don't want. And there are no dumb anxiety sufferers. It's only creative, imaginative, very intelligent people that really kind of destroy their lives
that is interesting.
With anxiety.
I am so sorry you suffered 20 years ago, but I am so very pleased that it brought you to a place where you're now a healer and you can help so many people do this.
Yeah. And I do my music all the time. And I'm not nervous at all. I go on stage and I'm like, hey, this is a lot of fun. It's great.
That's fabulous. I thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
It's such a pleasure. If anyone would like to reach out to Mark, they can reach him at www.crushanxiety.com. Thank you, Mark.
So much.
It's great to have you here with us today.
All right.
Today, our second guest is Lynn Neal. Welcome, Lynn. Thank you for being here with us today on Tune Into Wellness today.
Thank you, LisaMarie.
It's great to have you. Lynn is a Jacki's Fitness aerobic instructor and Mary Kay beauty consultant and director. You can tell how gorgeous she looks. Lynn has been practicing Jacki's aerobic fitness for 26 years. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So she's going to tell us a little bit today about Jacki's Fitness and why it will benefit all of us to be one of her classmates. So Lynn, what exactly is Jacki's aerobic fitness?
Jacki's Aerobic Fitness is a program designed for anybody who wants to take a group fitness exercise approach. It's not for everybody. However, the people that do join our class absolutely love it. You come into class and it's very relaxing. In the beginning, you feel really good. And you dance to all different kinds of routines and music that's across the board for genres, from country to Frank Sinatra. Appeals to everyone. And I did say the word dance, so don't be afraid. It's really designed for non-dancers to make them feel like they're dancers.
What is the age spectrum, or how old need you be to take these classes? And are you too old to ever take these classes?
You're never too old. You can, from when you start moving, I would say like teenager to, I have an 84-year-old in my class. So, and I know there are girls that are 90 and above too, as long as you stay in shape and keep moving and you have doctor's approval.
Oh, that is wonderful. So if I were interested in taking one of your classes, what can I expect?
Well, if you were going to take one of my classes, we'd have a conversation first, and it would go something like this. I would ask you if you've ever exercised before, and if you've told me, no, I've never exercised before, I would ask you if you had permission from your doctor, if you've had any health issues or joint issues that I should know about. We talk about that, and if that all seemed clear and it seemed like you didn't need doctor's approval, then I would go ahead and tell you that the format of our class. And it's an hour long, and the first 20 minutes consists of a warm-up, and it consists of floor work where we do stretching, flexibility, sit-ups, and even push-ups. But they're all modified, meaning you can do the push-ups or any of the activities that we do at your own pace. And I do teach women the different levels that they can utilize for their comfort level.
I have a question for you. Modified push-up, is that when you can use your knees? Because I would think a lot of women just starting out are not going to have that upper body strength. So how do you modify that?
Actually, it goes even beyond the knee. You can do it on the wall. People have wrist issues or just can't push their weight up off the floor. We start with the wall. Then there's the knees, and there's a couple of levels of knee push-ups, and then of course there's on your toes as well.
Wow, so really there really is no excuse. Anyone should be able to do that type of exercise. That's great.
Yeah.
And after you do the floor work, what's the next stage?
The next stage is toning for the upper and lower body. We get up on our feet and we use optional handheld weights, and the maximum is 6 pounds, and ankle weights, and they're all option. You don't have to use weights. And when you're coming for the first time and you're not used to using weights, I always recommend to leave the weights at home and just come and try the routine for the hour to see how you like it first.
And after that piece, is there a third component to this?
There is. And then the next component is actually our cardiovascular part, which is you get moving, and that's where the songs get your heart rate up. And the first song is called the booster routine, and that's where it takes you from a low level and boost your heart rate gradually to the working heart rate range. And then we take a heart rate check after that. Then the middle part are choreographed dance routines. And again, I'm saying the word dance. It is choreographed to different kinds of music. And we take a heart rate after every couple of songs just to check in and see how you're doing. And then there's a cool down at the end. And we take a recovery heart rate for the cool down. And then I do stretches at the end, standing up.
Now, is this a progressive program? So if I were to start out as a novice and then determined I really love this, what is my gain 6 months down the line? Does this program progress with an exercise program, or do you just take it more frequently to receive the same results?
This program is by a session, and it goes four sessions a year. There's a beginning and the end of the session. It's like usually 10 to 12 weeks long. New people come in usually at the beginning of the session, 2 times a week minimum we ask, and you're also exercising along with seasoned seasoned exercisers, mixing up my businesses. And it's designed to incorporate everyone's fitness level, whether you're a novice or you're seasoned. And I'm aware of where everyone's fitness level is at, and I will teach accordingly the hour for what people need and make recommendations throughout the hour.
That is wonderful. Why did you choose Jacki's Aerobic? Out of all the fitness choices that were available, what appealed to you about Jacki's Fitness?
I was a student 26 years ago, and I totally loved being in a group and moving with a group of women all in the same direction, I guess. And even if you went left instead of right, that was kind of fun. And I laughed at myself. I just had fun. It was just a lot of fun, and it was freeing, and the music was great.
So it sounds as though, in addition to the fitness component and the cardiovascular component, you're building friendships, some camaraderie from this type of a dance program?
Yes, I have found that with my group fitness, that the women love to keep coming back over and over again, because when you keep seeing the same people 2 to 3 times a week, you develop a relationship, and we laugh together, we cry together, we celebrate, we mourn, we do it all. And we need each other. And what a great way to start your morning with a group of women that you love to connect with and get some exercise at the same time. You feel so much better at the end of the hour than you did at the beginning of the hour.
So really you have physical benefits, emotional benefits, it sounds like. That sounds fabulous. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the listeners today about Jacki's fitness program?
Well, Jacki's fitness program was developed 26 years ago by Jacki Sorenson. She was an Air Force wife, and she started the fitness program in the basement of someone's home at the military base, and that's where the group exercise was developed that was choreographed to make it fun. She really wanted to have people be able to feel like a dancer even if they weren't, because Jacki was a dancer. So that's where it came from that. And her program developed from just the dancing part to now incorporating fitness for muscles, for toning upper and lower body. We actually call it vertifirm, which is vertical firming, so we are on our feet to do the toning for weights. Wow. The upper and lower body.
That is amazing. That sounds fabulous and a lot of fun, and I like that aspect. How can people reach out to you if they'd like to learn more about Jacki's fitness?
Great. Well, you can go on our website, www.jackis.com, and that's JACKIS. And also you can reach me on my website, my email, it's sneal, SNEAL, at nycap.rr.com.
Super. Lynn, it's so great to see you again. As always, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
And our third guest today is David Spina. David has been a pharmacist for over 30 years, and he is now a holistic health counselor and coach. David, can you tell us what a holistic health coach is?
Sure. The coaching part is where the coach partners with the client to help that client achieve whatever personal health goals that they want to achieve. It may be disease control, it may be weight loss, or disease prevention. Some folks have predispositions or certain disease modalities and may want to mitigate that predisposition. The coach partners with this person to listen to what their goals are and help them achieve those goals, walk them through a process so that they can get to where they need to be. The holistic part is where we look at the entire person because all aspects of our lives are interconnected. We can't just isolate one piece of it, for example, weight loss. If someone presents, for example, with a weight loss issue, they have a weight goal that they'd like to achieve. But if this person is suffering from a lot of stress, for example, work stress, and they find themselves eating all day at work compulsively to try to compensate for the stress, adjusting the diet and that type of thing really isn't going to do very much for them. We need to look at the stress factors. What can you do with the work stress, for example, to relieve that so that the compulsion to obsessively eat is not there. So we take the whole person and look at everything that's going on in their lives and help them achieve their goals.
Okay. And when you work with this person, one of your clients, you're setting up a series of goals with them, so they're helping design the goals, and then your role is to support them in achieving those goals?
Well, it's their goals. It's their program.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll actually set the goals, and the coach, as a coach, I make those goals realistic, and what they can really achieve, and what is meaningful to them. But stressing that it is the client's program, and they can progress or they can do what they want with it, and we're just here to help them achieve that help them with their path down that road.
So what I think of is if I were looking to run a marathon, I might hire a fitness coach to give me some of the protocols, to an exercise program to build me up to be sustainable to achieve that marathon. But I obviously have to do the work. So that fitness coach will guide me, but I have to do the work. And it sounds similar that you're giving the tools and resources to guide your clients. They have to do the work, but you're going to be there to help them through the program. Would you say that's correct?
Pretty much, yes. Because we'll establish a long-term goal where we want to be at the end of our program. And then during that, we'll set short-term goals as to how we're going to get there. And we're going to do this for this particular period, whether it be 2 weeks, a month, or 2 months. And then, depending on what that goal is, the coach supplies the tools to help do that. And during the period that we've set the goal for, we'll be in contact. So it's not like if we set a 2-month goal, we're going to wait 2 months and see if we achieve that goal or not. No, we'll be in contact on a regular basis to see if we're working, if we're progressing towards that, in this case, the 2-month goal. And maybe we need more tools, maybe we need to adjust the tools, or maybe we need to set a different type of goal.
So it's really a bio-individual program then. Per person that comes to you, you're setting and they're setting their goals up, and your program could be 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, depending on what their goals are and what they're trying to achieve, right?
Exactly. Everybody is different. We can't just go on the internet and look at the 756 diets that happen to be out there and try to put somebody on one, and the multitude of activity programs that might be out there, and choose one. We have to design something that works for that individual. And as many people as there are, that's how many different programs there can be.
Mm-hmm. So you're looking at lifestyle factors, nutrition, fitness, a whole component really of aspects to help this person achieve their goals. And I'm guessing, you tell me, that people are coming to you with weight issues, weight concerns, but disease issues as well. Maybe they're pre-diabetic or diabetic, or have been diagnosed with cardiovascular issues. And so you're meeting them right at that place when they come to present to you, and then working out a program with them based on that. Is that correct?
Yes. With what they present with, and one of your examples, a pre-diabetic condition, and I'm worried about this. Everybody in my family has diabetes, and I really rather not go there. Well, we'll look at that, and we'll look at what they're doing, what they're eating, and what their activity level is, in ways that we can change that path so they don't follow everybody in their family. But then again, I can't stress enough the other aspect of people's lives. And it's to do with how their lives are structured, whether it's their job life, their relationship, their family, any demons they may be dealing with, that may be setting up roadblocks for them and giving them beliefs that they cannot achieve this, or they have to do this, or this is something that they don't deserve, or whatever. Or, as we talked about earlier, the compensation role, and the way folks can compensate for different aspects of their life that don't seem to be going the way that they would like them to go.
Mm-hmm. So, pharmacist for 30 plus years, and now a holistic health coach. What made you make the shift? What brought you to become a holistic health coach?
Well, being in the medical field for so many years, I've got to learn a lot about it. And essentially, what our healthcare in this country has become is not really healthcare, but more of disease management. We don't do a lot to prevent disease, and we don't do a lot to actually encourage folks to take responsibility for their own health and their own health outcomes. So seeing people, or seeing the general health of the general public kind of deteriorating, and then look at an individual people who happen to be suffering from some malady, whether it's excessive weight or diabetes or some sort of arthritis or something like that, and then just thinking how uncomfortable they must be, and that they're suffering all the time with this, whatever this might be, and they don't really have to. There are ways to improve these conditions. There are ways to improve your life, so you don't have to suffer every day with whatever it is that happens to be in your life that's causing you to suffer.
That's fabulous. Are you enjoying this?
Yes, very much so.
Great. Dave, thank you so much for being with us today. If anyone wants to reach out to Dave with any questions, he can be reached at Dave Spina is it David Spina or Dave Spina?
Dave.
Dave Spina at inspiringwellnesssolutions.com. Thank you, Dave. And that wraps up today's segment. A big thank you to all of our guests today. Next month, we will have 3 new guests: Beth Foster from the Nia Movement, Andy Keenan from the Art of Reiki, and Rick Zucker from Vital Access. Please join us in November for these special guests. We want to thank you for being a part of Tune In to Wellness today, and we encourage you to reach out to us with any questions you have. You can reach me at LisaMarie at inspiringwellnesssolutions.com, or if you'd like to reach out to any one of the guests specifically, please reach out to their emails or web addresses. Again, we thank you and have a healthy day.